So here is Adnan. He came to me as just a talented photographer, making just around 2-3k a month, but working 60-70 hours a week, to now hitting past 10k months, working just 20-30 hours a week, and is now a successful agency owner. He went from being a one-man band, editing, shooting, chasing the clients, dealing with client management, all of the communication, everything, you name it, he was doing it all, to now running a real agency with a lean team, premium clients, and predictable systems, all without having a huge following, needing to spend thousands on ads, or having to sacrifice his work standards, the quality of work that he's built all up until that time. In fact, Adnan now earns more and works less with a lean team, predictable client flow, and the freedom to actually live his life. Now, I know you're probably scratching your heads thinking, how the hell did he do that? So I'm going to break it down for you. No gatekeeping here. I'll show you literally everything step by step, exactly how we did it, so you guys can use that information and that knowledge to apply to your own agencies or your videography or photography gig. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. But before I show you how we did this, I need to ask you something. What's the real difference between a creative agency or creative freelancer making 3k a month and the other one who is doing 10k plus months? It's not talent, because Adnan was talented before we started. It's not work ethic either, because he was already working 60-70 hours a week. And it's obviously not luck. The difference is infrastructure. You see, most creative agencies fail to scale past 10k or 20k months because they're missing the systems. They'll have an offer, it's not productized. They'll create content, but it's not strategic. They may get the odd clients here and there, but there's no consistency of the pipeline of leads being built. They may even deliver great work, but they're the only ones who can do it. And without those systems, growth becomes impossible. But that's the problem I solve. You see, how do you take talented creatives at 2-5k months and give them the structure to hit 10-20k months without burning out, without feeling like their life is on edge? That answer, my friends, is what I call the acquisition engine. So who is this for? So if you're the freelancer, photographer or videographer, or you're an agency owner, plateauing at the same revenue that you have been hovering over for months, maybe even years, and you're now sick and tired of being the bottleneck. You now want to build something scalable, an actual agency. You want to stop guessing with what prices you need to be charging, how to even go about the marketing for your agency. You actually want to build a business that serves your life. You want that freedom to be able to go on holidays, to be able to work from wherever you want, to be able to spend the time with your loved ones. What are you making all that money for? It's not to sit in the bank, it's to enjoy your life. And if you want to build a business that serves your life, not the other way around, then this video is for you, and it will dramatically change your life. Believe me. So let me guess what's happening in your business right now, or even what your current reality is looking like. You're probably waking up or reacting to client requests. A client may say, hey, I need a shoot tomorrow. You've just gone to sleep at midnight and they want to shoot at 9 a.m. You're ready to do it. You're jumping between the shoots. You finish that shoot, but then right after that shoot, you got another client shoot to do, then another one, and then another one, and then it's just stacking up and you got no time. You're doing the editing, you're doing the calls, you're doing all of the admin, and obviously your income is swinging wildly. You've gone top of the mountain with 5, 6, 7k one month, and then the following month comes by and then you're down bad. You're back at 1, 2k a month, and that's at a struggle. And time off, forget about it. There is no chance for that, because the second you take time off, that's the second that your income will stop. And it's sad to kind of run through this reality, because I went through that, and that's exactly where Adnan was. He was talented, he was hardworking, but completely trapped. So in this breakdown, I'm showing you in this video the exact process we used to break him out of that prison. From 70 hours, how we took him from 60-70 hour weeks to making 10k plus months, only working 20-30 hours. So let's break it down. So let's get straight into it. So of course, the acquisition engine, that is the system we literally installed into his situation. Of course, every videographer, photographer, agency owner, they have different journeys. They all have different strengths, weaknesses, and different opportunities. However, the basic foundations of what needs to be built is practically the same. From running my own content agency for 5 years and witnessing and building other agency owners and freelancers into successful agency owners, I've come to the conclusion that all it takes is these 5 core aspects to build and perfect, and you're good to go. So offer architecture is literally essentially what you sell and how you package it. Then we kind of go dive into the content and ads. That's how you attract and how you nurture your leads. Sales systems is literally how you convert your leads into paying clients. Then we have the delivery and team systems. So how do you fulfill without burning out? And lastly, scalability, infrastructure. So this is, again, how do we build for the long term? Because again, we're trying to grow the business without us having to be so involved with the business. So let me show you where Adnan started and how we built each system step by step. So like I said, Adnan was a talented hardworking individual. However, he only came to me starting off as just a photographer. He was doing 2-3K months already off the bat, juggling everything, literally shooting, editing, client management. Probably had that one retainer client that was giving him the bulk of his revenue, and the rest was just all ad hoc work. However, his charges was astonishingly low. Like, I genuinely couldn't believe it. His work was amazing, but the pricing he was charging was like here, and it wasn't making sense. Like, he was literally charging just day rates. He wasn't charging for outcomes. It was just literally for his time. I'll be here for this time. I'll shoot all of the content you need. I'll be there for that time. Just pay me this one amount. No systems, no team, no strategy, just straight up survival mode. Now, obviously, his work was excellent, but his business model was broken. He had the skills, just not the systems. So on the first call we had, we kind of audited exactly how his business was running, and we did it through the acquisition engine. So here's what I found. His offer architecture, it was just literally him selling day rates, no outcomes. Every client was customed. There was no scalable package. It wasn't really productized. His Instagram was literally a portfolio. There was no strategy. There was no funnel. It was just literally hoping for referrals and someone will buy it from watching his content. And again, same for his sales systems. There was no process. He would literally wing every conversation. There was no leadership in that call. There was no direction that he was taking them through. It's just a case of, this is what I can do. Fingers crossed, you say yes. Delivery and team. There was no SOPs. It was just literally him running the whole show. No delegation. More clients equaled more hours, and more hours meant being stuck in the business and less time to work on growing the actual business. And how on earth would he scale it if he continued doing the things he was doing? If he compounded the way he was running the business this particular way, in this particular format, he was doomed. He was literally going to end up being burnt out. He's going to hate the business that he once started or he once loved. His client journey would literally be randomly posting a piece of content. Then it would be a case of, all right, cool. You know what? Maybe I've got an inquiry. Then I'll do everything that client wants, whether it's the shooting, the ideation, the client communications, everything from A to Z. I'll do everything. And then I'll just repeat it again. I'll just randomly post a piece of content. Maybe I'll wait for an inquiry, or maybe nothing will come, and then I'll keep doing the same thing over and over again. So there's no system. There was no clear direction on how to actually build the agency. It was just hit and miss, just pure chaos. So my objectives for him were very clear. We wanted to build a productized agency model with leverage. We wanted to install a client acquisition system. And most importantly, we needed to remove Adnan from the day-to-day execution. Now, creatives should only focus on two things. That's building leverage through offers, systems, content, or having a team, and owning that relationship through sales and strategy. Everything else should be systemized or delegated. So if we run through exactly how it all worked out, step by step, running through the acquisition engine, we first had to rebuild his offer. Now, the problem wasn't that he was undercharging because he lacked confidence. He was undercharging because his offer only solved one problem. He was positioning himself as a photographer for hospitality brands. That meant he was brought in to solve one problem, and he was only offering that via one solution. So he was brought in to solve one problem, but that problem wasn't strong enough for that ICP. So he gave a very beta offer, very basic offer. It was literally just to come in and create content, not to drive footfall, not to drive bookings or try to create more demand for the hospitality brands. And hospitality owners don't wake up thinking, you know what, today I need more photos. They think, how do I get more customers through the door? How can I utilize social media for that? So of course, if you continued the way he was doing things, £500 a shoot, times that by 6 months, £500 for one client doing a content shoot only, times that by 6 months retainer, one client is giving you 3K back, but at what cost? Because remember, he's doing everything. So of course, we had to evolve his role. Instead of selling photography, we repositioned him as a growth partner for hospitality brands. We had to integrate short form video. We had to integrate Facebook ads. We had to integrate strategy as part of his outcome driven offer. Now, the promise wasn't, I'm going to shoot content for your restaurant. It was literally, I will build and distribute content systems that increase visibility, drive more footfall, and turn attention into actual bookings. Now, you see, by solving more problems for the client, by having the solutions, he can now cultivate that all into one offer. Content, consistency, messaging, increase in demand. The offer he was now able to present held more weight. So in the client's head, they're thinking, you know what, we can see that offer solving X, Y, and Z problem that we've been facing. We're happy to pay you now 2K a month for a 6-month retainer for a lifetime value of 12K. Now you think systematically, if you could now take yourself out of that service delivery, take yourself out of the fulfillment, start building your team, even after that 12K may only become 10, 9, 8K. But look at the difference between how it would have been if it was just £500 a month, only solving one core problem of the ICP, to now solving multiple core problems for the ICP and now charging significantly higher. And within weeks from making that one shift, he was able to sign multiple clients, multiple retainer clients, signed at 3-5 times higher than his previous rates. He's the same person, by the way. We didn't upgrade his gear, we didn't buy him more cameras or do anything crazy. We're just literally building the foundations. We rebuilt the offer. He just had a stronger positioning and a broader outcome. And for the first time, his income wasn't capped by how many shoots he could physically take on. So then we go into content and ads. Now again, the quality was there. There was no question in that. He was able to really deliver fantastic work. But the only problem was it wasn't doing anything. It was just a gallery of nice photos and videos that he was posting on his digital shopfront. Hospitality owners were not thinking, this person, this agency can grow my business. They were thinking, oh, nice work, nice photo. But nice photos doesn't create demand. So we had to stop using content to show his work and started using it to sell the outcome his work now creates. So instead of posting random shoots, we flipped the angle. Why do restaurants struggle to get consistent customers? What actually makes people choose one place over another? Why does most content never convert into footfall? You see, his content now had a clear message. Every post was designed to answer one question in the ICP's mind. Will this help me get more people through the door? And then we did something most agency owners and freelancers never do. We took the best performing pieces of content and run it, put a small amount of money behind just to start off with, only showing them to his ICP, his local businesses, the brands he wants to work with. No fancy funnels, no crazy VSLs, none of that crazy stuff. Just the right message to the right people. You see, by the time they messaged him, they already trusted him. They weren't asking what he does because they already knew. They were asking if he could do it for them. And the result was literally just one organic piece of content. Using our viral content script templates, he was able to generate 15 inquiries off of the back of one video. And from there, we just literally continued booking in calls. So eventually the ads were running, and here you can see that piece of content went crazy for him. So eventually the ads started booking in calls with decision makers, and every conversation from there started from a position of authority, not negotiation. So with regards to his sales systems, by this point the content and the ads were already doing their job. Hospitality owners were seeing his posts, seeing his content, they were clicking through, and DMs were flying in. So now calls were starting to fill his calendar. But this is where most creatives and agency owners will completely mess it up. You see, Adnan was now getting the attention, but he was still handling conversations as if he was still a freelancer. Someone would DM, he'd probably reply straight away, they'd ask about the price, and the whole conversation would slide back into discounts and explaining, and the next thing you know, they ghost him. More leads didn't fix the problem. It just exposed the problem he was facing. They finally get inquiries, but they don't know how to close them. They don't know how to convert them. So we slowed everything down and installed a proper structure. Instead of reacting to DMs, Adnan started leading them. Every conversation started with the same flow. An inquiry would come through, and then we would qualify them by asking them a few simple questions. What's not working with your content right now? Are you trying to increase visibility or get more people through the door? What have you already tried? This did two things. It would qualify the lead and make the problem more real, more significant with the ICP in the conversation. Only then, once they qualified, would he then go on to book a call, a discovery call. Once they qualified, it's just a case of, you know what, hey, I've got a few ideas based on what you said. Let's just jump on a quick call and I'll walk you through it. On the call, there was literally no pitching. It's just 3 steps. Where are they now? What's stopping the growth? And how does his system fix all of those problems? You see, because the content and ads, they have already created belief, and the sales process created clarity. So by the time they got on the call with him, they already trusted him. They weren't asking if this would work. They were asking how it would work for them. And from that point onwards, Adnan literally stopped selling photos. He started converting that demand. This system we literally installed for him, it didn't just bring him in leads, but it's just how do we take that attention into now actual revenue. So next, we need to remove Adnan from delivery. And of course, again, the problem was with him doing everything himself. The second he would get more clients, it would just literally cause him to have more problems with the way he was running things. So quite simply, we just had to systemize the way he was doing fulfillment, his service delivery, a faster onboarding, a Trello Notion for production management, hiring more staff members, and more importantly, creating SOPs on his work processes. So all of these things that he was doing at such a high level already, we made a few more tweaks in teaching him a few other things that he wasn't aware of, creating SOPs on those workflows and those processes, and then eventually you're handing that off to the right hire. And the reason why all of this worked is because this all stripped his workload from 60, 70 hours a week to now 20, 30 hours a week. He does the final checks. He may go off to the occasional shoot here and there, but the rest of the post-production will be handed off to someone else within his team. He can then go off and speak to the next client or another prospect in his pipeline, and the team are handling the rest of the work. So where is Adnan now? So with all of those changes, Adnan's revenue is sitting at 10K plus a month, working 20, 30-hour work weeks, multiple monthly retainer clients, and the occasional ad hoc work here and there, a 3-person team plus himself, and his minimum retainer packages starting at $18.50 a month. He now spends his time on content, on ads, on sales, not editing or admin anymore. You see, he now introduces himself as that content agency owner, as an actual business owner who can deliver real results. Now we're on a clear roadmap for him to now go earn 20K a month. He's got the momentum, leads are still pouring in. It's just how can we get him now to 20K months? You see, the biggest change, it wasn't the revenue. It was solely identity. Before it was just, you know what, I'm a photographer. This is all I have, this is all I am, and this is all I have to offer. However, after going through the series of changes and the motions and the systems that we executed for him, it was now I run an agency that delivers content systems that will fill tables for restaurants. He started saying no to the low-paying clients. He was now able to plan ahead of quarters instead of days or weeks. He was now able to hire support, travel, spend more time on himself, developing himself, and spending more time with his family. He stopped over-delivering, feeling guilty about time off, and having to always compete on price with the next photographer or the next person who was in line trying to get that same client. You see, screenshots like this, messages like this, just fill me with pride because I understand the work that he put in and how much he deserves this. It just literally proves what happens when a talented creative installs the right systems. So, to you all watching this video, the key takeaways that you can take from this video is that you do not need a huge following. You just have to have the right offer, built with the right systems, and then we start developing and building more proof. Next, you need to productize your offer. Start pricing your work for outcomes. Build a proper content ecosystem. Delegate what drains you and focus on what will grow for your agency. Install the right systems so your business will compound and not have to go through starting all over again every week or every month. Now look, the key here was not that Adnan worked harder. It was how can we help him switch from a freelancer mindset to an operator mindset. Go from a one-man band operating as a freelancer to an agency owner. And if you're stuck in the same position that Adnan was, making 2 to 3K months, confused about what you're selling, handling everything yourself, feeling like you've built a machine that runs on your sweat. If you don't run, that machine stops and your business stops. Let me tell you, you're literally one system away from completely changing who you are, how you operate, and living the life you want to live. So just drop me a message on Instagram with the word engine, and I'll walk you through exactly how we can install that same system that we done for Adnan, step by step with you. So you can now scale your creative business without the headache, without the chaos, without having to experience extreme levels of burnout. This is what's possible when you stop selling time and start selling outcomes. And believe me, if Adnan can do it, so can you. If this video gave you insight, gave you value, then please do subscribe. I'm going to be making tons more case studies, tons more breakdowns just like this. And this is obviously a little bit different to my other videos, but if this is something you guys are interested in seeing more of, drop a comment on the video below and I'll catch you on the next one.